So I'm not a collector, by the way. So a lot of you who are collectors, I will say that I'm not a collector, but you do save the box on something like this. This is Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1. And the interesting thing about A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 1 is that you really didn't get to see Freddy very well throughout most of the picture. It was so poorly lit, at least on the VHS version, that, we never really got a good look at Freddy. So for years, I was curious. I had to use the internet for a good look at exactly what he looked like. I think you see the most of him is at the end when Heather Langenkamp as Nancy springs the trap for him all around the house and lights him on fire, and that's the best, most pronounced England moment that you get, even in the original VHS. They have brightened up his face a little more substantially since then, and I don't always like all of these. I like cloth figures a lot, and I like figures that you can play with, kind of like that. But this is a really great figure, and it's one that you can play with. And I think the most disappointing one for me was actually one of the Jason figures from Part 3, because the Jason figure from Part 3, he's such a big, hulky Jason. Someone that... Oh no! Oh, I thought his hand came off. It's just one of the spare hands. It comes with spare parts and spare hands. All right, let's see where I can put up Freddy. So, gosh damn, if I can make him stand. I actually have a much better Freddy figure that's a cloth figure, and he looks great, and he stands great, and we can see what happened to Michael there. That's exactly what I would imagine Freddy Krueger doing to Michael, by the way. I mean, he's gonna stab out both of his eyes like he did to Jason. And then, for all we know, he's gonna cut his head off. Why not cut the motherfucker's head off and stand over him like the conquering, villain? Maybe he'll do other things with him, considering that's Freddy Krueger. But, gosh damn it. So, when I first saw A Nightmare on Elm Street, let's bring him back here. I don't like that angle. When I first saw A Nightmare on Elm Street, I really never got a good look at Freddy Krueger like we do right here. And boy, does he look great on camera, on this kind of camera. And everyone... that's what these figures were built for. It kind of looks way better on camera than it does in person. In person, when I unbox these figures, they're for me, they're a little dry and a little stiff, and I don't enjoy them as much as a real toy that you could play with, kind of like the Michael right behind him. But there's so much detail. So much detail. It's funny that it keeps going in and out of focus. I can't control the focus. I don't know exactly how it works. There's so much detail here. Let me see if I can pull out again. Let me see if I can pull out. Yes. And by the way, England used a voice modulator thing for his Freddy. The real way that he would talk is just the way you see him in interviews, and then they would slow down his voice so he'd talk really fast. So it'd be like, "Ha-ha, welcome to prime time, bitch." It would be like the way England would say it. And then it goes through the voice modulator, and he's like, "This is it, Jennifer. Your big break in TV. Welcome to prime time, bitch." And then that's how the way it sounds. A lot of us have gotten used to doing the Freddy voice by ourselves, which I think is a skill and a talent all of its own. You can't put these figures next to each other because Freddy is substantially bigger. But I do have, guess what? It's Batman, who almost looks comparable. Maybe Batman. Yeah, I guess that don't quite work. I was hoping this would work a lot better, but seems Batman is totally outstood by Freddy Krueger, which will come in handy in a later video. I have a few ideas for the Adam West Batman against the fiendish Freddy, and we'll work on some videos once we get time, money, and energy. There's never enough time these days. People don't really want you to pursue your interests, and that's why it's really important to be young and take advantage of the years before they come. A lot of people have been on me about, school. These are great looking claws, by the way. They're a little bent there, but the coloring is fantastic. I don't usually like claws like this. If you ever buy a Wolverine toy, they are terrible because the claws are never quite right on a Wolverine toy. England, perhaps more than any other actor, was very well skilled at finding ways to stand as Freddy Krueger and making use of the glove. I'm trying to be sensitive to that and do him justice as I'm reviewing his figure, because when they tried to recast him, they recast him, by the way, with just the most arbitrary stand-in in the history of film for a surprising character that required a lot of acting, like Robert Englund. I don't know where they got the guy they tried to use in part 2 before they realized, hey, we can't do this, we need Englund back. But apparently in the shower scene with the towel whipping, that's the only scene where you see another Freddy who was officially recast in the role. It has been Robert Englund from the very beginning, which we did not always know from watching the first film because you could barely see him. So we always wondered if he was recast later on and actually showed up in something like Dream Warriors. But it always has been Robert, at one time billed as Robert Freddy Englund, just to remind everyone who he is and what I am, you know. Englund, surprisingly enough, or Freddy Krueger, surprisingly enough, throughout the series, his makeup changes with what I think to be varying degrees of burnt. So this might have been how he actually looked when he was dragged from the boiler after the parents torched his ass. But sometimes, maybe perhaps as he grows more powerful and gains more souls, sometimes he starts looking better by about part 6, and you see more nicer looking flesh around his pizza burnt face. It was a burnt pizza, which inspired all of these contours on Freddy's face from the very beginning. It was always a burnt pizza. Some of that change from makeup artist to makeup artist, just slightly, but still fitting the pattern. He's got burn scars. But by about part 2 and part 3, they had the makeup just about perfect and a lot better even than this. This one's got different little funny faces that you can interchange. I didn't even pull out the hat yet. I like my other figure probably the best. Here's a nice little smiling Freddy. Looks like another head I have from it was like a pothead shop. There's a little green head I built things with, and boy does this look good on camera. Again, it looks really awesome on camera. Look how great that is. Reminds me a little bit of the gunslinger from Puppet Master. Don't have as much to say in this video as I was hoping, because I was hoping to pick up where I was left off. Oh, this is kind of cool as I'm boxing this up. Watch him. Yeah. This is a really neat little face here. Yeah, that's when Freddy rips off the face and look, it's my face. Someone takes off my face. I'll show you my face. It's the Red Skull all along. That's where Hugo Weaving went. All kinds of little accessories. You see him with the cow. Oh, no, I dropped a head. Oh no, I'll never get ahead. That's how you spend your money. Probably better than strippers. Anyway, like I said, not a whole lot to say. I didn't have as much fun here as I did with the Michael Myers videos. Not as much to discuss, as I've already kind of talked about and explored Freddy a lot over the years. But, yeah, it's a really good figure.